Good morning, people. So it's the next day. Weather is pretty atrocious. Neighbours look happy enough though. Right, so you've just seen a time lapse of me getting Blossom all pressure washed off and ready to go. So this boat is not in for blacking because it's not our blacking season. We have some steel work to do on Blossom. So when boats hit a certain age, and it's usually 25 years old, the insurance companies ask for a survey to make sure that the hull is in good condition, that it hasn't got any rusty holes in it basically. So that's what's happened with Blossom. It's had a hull survey done on it. I'm not sure of the surroundings to it, whether the boat was sold or when it was bought it was done, but anyway, I've been given a survey and Blossom needs a little bit of work doing to it. So where do we start? Well, there's no point really walking around it and giving my opinion because somebody with more qualifications than me has already given it opinion. So I might as well cut to the chase of what we've got to do. So Blossom has had a new base plate. It's been overplated here. It's not the an extended triangle. This is a plate that actually runs all the way at the fore end to midships, and the surveyor has asked for that to be carried on all the way to the back. So that's one of the jobs that needs doing. I'm not over impressed with the way this has been put on. I would do it differently. They've ended up with an awful lot sticking out. What I would have done is cut this back here nearer the weld, then put the new plate in and welded there, and that's what I'm going to do so I don't end up with it looking like this. Bit of a dog's dinner. She's had some plate work done around the front already. I don't know who by. Again, they just left gaps, and it's, oh dear, uppity downity. But hey, you know, we don't know what the conditions were for welding. So on this side, the port side of the bow, Blossom needs a plate welding all the way along, about 6 inches up from the stem post all the way to the end of the bows here somewhere. So that's one of the easier jobs to do, and then most of the other work is at the back. So I've got to put some plate work in here. Basically, I think Blossom has gone a bit rusty from the inside out, which is quite common with cruiser style narrow boats. People need to look after their base plates, otherwise they just rot from the inside. Their counter plates, this piece here on the inside in the engine room. So we've got to replicate pretty much what's been done around the back here, down the sides. So I'm going to cut a plate in below and above this rubbing strake. Now sometimes we cut this rubbing strake off here somewhere to do the job, but there's an awful lot of weld in there because the bow of the boat. I'm worried that when we cut this off, I'm going to pull holes on the inside to the engine room, and then it's going to mean that after I've plated it up on the outside, I'm going to have to go into the engine room, remove batteries, clarify tanks, whatever is in the way down there, and then repair the hull from the inside. So I would much prefer to weld a plate in underneath here and a plate above there. Also, it would mean that this rubbing strake is not sticking out more, because obviously after I've plated it, I'd have to put that back on, which means this rubbing strake would come down here and then start standing out, and I'm not going to do that. It is a pain to do it this way, but that's what I'm going to do. Counter floor, this needs replacing, so I'm going to overplate this as well. So there's lots of little nuggety bits like this that have been put on. That was there to stop the rudder from clouting the going into the counter floor and wearing this weld down. So these have all got to come off. The rudder tube has been replaced already, so it's had a new tube put inside. It's been sleeved inside of the original. I'm not really sure why they did that, because this hasn't got a diesel tank at the back, and it'd have been a lot easier just to cut the whole lot out and put a new tube in. But they've sleeved it. They've sleeved it with I think it's 4mm Hopefully it's 5mm, but I haven't got any near that. I'm going to put a plate in around here. And also the swim at the back here, that's this piece here, this needs overplating as well. So quite a lot to be getting on with. And when we do these turns at the back here, this swim, this guard iron here is all going to need chopping off. I'm going to pull that off. I'm not so worried about that. That's not going to have rust behind it, not like what this is from past experiences of doing these jobs. So, Blossom, here for a while and quite a lot to be getting on with. Let's just hope that the weather improves. First things first, we need to get the strops from the crane removed and the crane pushed all the way back so I can get in there with a forklift. And then start erecting a tent over the back end of Blossom, because I think I'm going to put the counter plates on first. Get all the work done at the back, get that out of the way before we start on the base plate. So the owner of this boat has opted for using cardboard instead of steel on this job. It saves weight and time in fitting. No, only joking. So this is a template I cut from hardboard to start off with. It's a lot easier to manage than trying to slide a sheet of steel in there and do this job. It's of little expense, but saves an awful lot of time. Okay, so now I have The sheet all cut underneath. I'm happy with that. Got a lovely fit all the way around. So now I need to remove the old weed hatch. So this has got a bolt down type of weed hatch, this here, and this has all got to be replaced. So the next job is to remove the fuel line that seems to be running along the side of it, and cut all that lot out. Let's get going. Good morning, people, and I do apologise for my dulcet tones. I'm rather full of flu at the moment, but the show has to go on, and we started to lose the light last night. So it's the next day and the weed hatch is out, but somebody in their ultimate wisdom decided to make it out of 3mm steel plate. And I think this was probably getting towards the end of its life expectancy. So that's all chopped out. And we do have something fairly decent there, 5 or 6mm, looks like 5mm to weld to. But when I was cleaning this up around the swims, I did actually go through. I don't know if we can see this just here. There. We've got a good old hole that is straight through and into the engine room. It's about 2.5 inches long by about 10mm wide. Now I'm going to be overplating over that area, but I'm going to repair that first before I stick a plate on there. It would just look a lot tidier from the inside than a gaping hole. Not feeling my best today, but like I say, the show must go on. What I'm doing here is using a porter power to push the new steel plate up to the existing counter and get it nice and tight. closely here, you'll see me using the porter power to push the base sheet up to the existing one. Time to start making the box, which will create a weed hatch. So that's the weed hatch all made. This is a quick release style one where I just unscrew. That comes off. That's it. I might have to make some alterations to it tomorrow, but it won't be much. So, back at it tomorrow then, eh? So that's the quick release weed hatch assembly all welded in. There are a couple of little jobs that need finishing. I now have the counter plates welded on over the top of the existing using 6mm steel. There's still quite a lot to do, but there's still quite a lot to do on Blossom anyway. But that's for another video. Thanks for watching, and catch you in the next one.